Okay. Seem to have limited most of the background noise. Really? I just sat down to start recording and now you're going to wake up and ask to go out. Anything else you'd like to share with us? Yeah? Well, I think cargo pants are still cool. Well, fuck you too. Era, mid-20th century, and what they called at the time, well, shit. One can course correct and do rapid object detection. Well, I mean, that's kind of a thing. By the next couple wars, with the increasing need for both air support, man. See, I'm recording the outtake reel so you guys know just how often I have to re-record one line. If you've got an armor breach and wander through a cloud of this gas, the idea of taking out that dire wolf via engine hits with... Oh, no, we're going to use the inner sphere designation to piss people off. They deliver a blinding cloud of tear grass. Smoking that tear grass. The Nemesis, instead of a 180 meter millim range, long and short, shit. The longbow is an 85 a ton. 85 a ton. It's a ton. Just covering the weather.
Docking our pay would require that you pay us in the first place, sir. Yes, sir, Caboose. I did draw up the blueprints you asked for in crayon on purpose. Let me explain this to you using analogies that a 21st century Terran could understand. Clan tech and inner sphere tech is basically incompatible, and every time you mix them, outside of a factory at least, you are making something unique. And please remember that I'm going to use analogies here. Our tech uses metric measurements like millimeters, and those clan bastards for some reason measure things in fractions of an inch. We use a couple big nuts and bolts to secure things, and they like to use more and smaller connections. We thread things right-handed, and they like to make them left-handed. Every single nut, bolt, and screw when we put things together has to be created from scratch and tapped, drilled, or an adapter plate made for a custom fit. Please, don't interrupt. I was just about to get to welding. We weld on the equivalent of steel alloys, and they like to use titanium and aluminum. You can't really weld dissimilar metals really well, which again means custom fabricating an interface when you need a weld. Then you get to the electrical system. We use something kind of like 240 volt, and they use 120 volt. Every electrical connection needs added connectors, step-ups or step-downs, changes in resistance, and completely different cabling. When you get to computers and other electronics, we're still sending things through copper wires when they're using fiber optics. We run a Microsoft OS and they run Apple, which means you have to use and sometimes write and debug custom software just to get systems to talk to each other at all. And that has to be done for every clan component you stick on an inner sphere mech, and redone every time something gets sufficiently damaged, which, let's be honest here, sir, happens more often than you like to admit. And this is especially true because you insist on running around in a chassis that, as far as I can tell from incomplete maintenance logs, contains parts from no fewer than 32 different catapults, most of which come from the original production run in the 26th century and not from the restart of the production lines in the 31st. And in case I wasn't clear, sir, that means, hell no, I will not make the design you want. And so yes, with all due respect, sir, when it comes to customizing the mech the way you want, hell no. Also, I'm not even going to try with all this Capellan surplus crap you keep buying. Hey, sir, those Clan ER medium lasers you bought, they're Capellan knockoffs.